We are live.
Ultra Mark.
Yeah, I think was that ALU? The
UOS Ultras.
Oh yeah, UOS. I've not bought Ultra yet.
Yeah, Super Farm.
Yeah, got Super Farm.
Do you know what Super Farm is, Shane?
Hey. It's a really big farm with lots of cows and horses.
No, it's a virtual. It's a virtual pet. Oh no, it's the horses, isn't it?
No.
That's Tamagotchi, isn't it?
Yeah, Garlic. Have you got Garlic?
Yeah.
Bingo. Scallop.
And then you got Wild
World
Price.
Yeah, got Wild World. Bought them in.
Yeah,
bought them a while ago.
Solana's dropped to 150.
Bought that. I'm in dollars, so I don't know what.
I'm in pounds. I am.
Yeah.
Bitcoin's dropping.
Yeah, keep out of Bitcoin at the minute.
I've heard of that one.
Why get on dollars?
That's what the most of.
Why are you on dollars?
Most people trade.
Really?
I just like dollars. I've changed my. I'm working now from the Metaverse. So instead of you working in, I'm working as central currency, and the central currency is now dollars. So when you come to buy a caravan from us now, you're going to see dollars instead of pounds.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I prefer to take Bitcoin as a payment now than
I was just about to say we should do it where I'm going to be the first caravan dealer, and you should be the first motorhome dealer that says we're going to accept cryptocurrency as payment.
I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy to accept Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Ethereum, Cardano.
Yeah.
I'd go for more.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Well, look at one of the reasons that Amazon have just stopped.
I got a bit. Who's clicked live?
I don't know. We're not live.
We're live.
Oh. Hey, look, we've got Leo with a Sheba. What's the name here? He's obviously a crypto.
David Trester Waller, Brian from Brisbane, Stephen B, Rob B, David Trevor, Caravan Shorts, Carl Map. Oh, Caravan Shorts. I thought it was Tenting Shorts. John. Remember when we used to do the lives last year, and I said to you about Pokemon cards? They went up, didn't they? Yeah. What we're talking about now, Mark?
Crypto. It's the future. Metaverse, crypto gaming.
Metaverse is going to change the world. Facebook has just changed to Meta.
You're not going to go on holiday anymore in your caravan or motorhome. You're going to put a VR headset on. You're going to sit in your front room and you're going to go on holiday like that.
And you're not going to go away?
No, you're just going to sit in the front room, headset on.
We're going to sell virtual motorhomes and caravans.
Yeah. So if you'd like to buy a virtual caravan or a motorhome with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of, I'm not sure whether I'll accept Sheba.
Good day, Sheba.
Sheba's worth nothing though. It's 0.0000033.
Yeah, that's a lot compared to what it is going to be. And yeah, NFT caravans. Why has nobody started doing NFTs?
But what you could do with an NFT, you could actually sell your NFTs where people get service from you, and put 20% and put a 20% sell-on clause.
True.
But just like David Trester's just said, he's got a virtual caravan because he's ordered it. He's never going to get delivered, yeah.
Yeah, no, you're never going to see it. If you've ordered a 2022 caravan.
What's up, Shane? You're a bit quiet there.
I think he's bored. He's turned his microphone off. He doesn't get it, does he? Doesn't get it.
Apologies to the viewers.
I'll be with you in 1 minute. 1 minute.
Yeah.
The problem is, Mark, is he's not seen the future, is he?
No. And this is now the time that we've got to look at the future. We've got to look into the future of what is going to happen.
Yeah. As the bubble burst.
Has it burst? Or are we just entering into a new way of the future completely?
Exactly. We've just done a couple of videos, haven't we, earlier on, talking about prices for 21, prices for 2022, where everything's going. And we thought, well, Mark's still hibernating for the last 18 months.
I'm in work today.
Yeah, but you're still hibernating.
Well, yeah.
So we'll wait for Shane to come back, and then we'll discuss prices for 2022.
Wow.
Go on.
We could hit on a subject at the moment of, are you still busy or has it quietened down? Because it's slightly different for Shane, because he's supplying the dealers. Let me just get rid of this phone.
You're busy, aren't you?
It's not stopped this morning. Now my zip won't work and I can't get the phone out of my pocket. I'm stuck. Okay, right. So, are we still busy on the sales front? Or because it's winter, everybody expects now is the time to go out and buy your caravan because you're going to get the biggest bargain of the century because no one's buying. No, I think we're all right.
No, you're all right. Thank you.
And so, what was I saying? A supplier.
Which one?
Woodcrofts.
Hey, Woodcrofts are right, actually. Have you found the suppliers have actually smartened the game up yet?
No, they've got
No,
worse.
they haven't, have they? Now, I'm just going to talk about this for a second, right? I'm sick and tired of nothing being in stock and having to order stock and everything. And I'm going to give a shout out here, which I don't normally do. Leisure Shop Direct, mate, that are online. I've used them before. It's public, it's not trade.
Yeah,
mate, they are absolutely bang on. Next day delivery, no messing about.
Who is not Leisure Plus, Leisure Shop?
Leisure Shop Direct.
Right, yeah. Because
you're paying retail prices for your things, but it's coming next day. No matter. I'm sick of ringing suppliers up and saying it's due in next week or this is due in Friday.
Yeah.
But it's 48 hours to 3 days for delivery.
Yeah, it's a bit. And the problem is when you've got a van, especially if you've got a van and you're on a tight deadline trying to get a van out, and then you try and order a part and it's 3 weeks before you can have that part.
Yeah,
well, that's just ruined your holiday next week, Mr. Customer.
Yeah,
and it's the same with everything. But I think people this time of year, going back to what I was just saying a second ago, is they expect it's gone quiet, it's gone dead. We're not selling anything, and now is the ideal time to buy.
That's been traditionally throughout this industry, though.
Forever and a day. That is sort of what has found. But how have you actually found it's been this year again?
Crazy.
It's just not stopped, has it?
No.
I had a customer come in. I had to work a weekend a couple of weeks ago, and I had to be here on a weekend. It was shocking.
I've got to work the weekend as well.
And I had a chap come in, and they'd travelled a long way, and I'd said I'd hold the caravan for him until he could get here. And I'd actually got about 3 people, but I'll never try and sort of say to people if they're coming to look at a caravan, you best be quick because we've got 3 other people looking at that. I don't see the need to be able to do that. It's just literally, if we're busy and there's other people interested, if you come in, I'll hold it for you, but I'm not going to muck about. So anyway, he's travelled down, gone all through the van. Yeah, lovely van that. It's quiet this time of year, isn't it? Well, yes and no. I'll give you $1,000 less than what it's on for. No, sorry. It's like that's the price in the window. You knew what the price was before you've travelled. And everybody sort of thinks, I'm going to be able to get a bargain. And literally, it came to about £200 of where we were on the price. And I was still, look, the price is what the price is. We can't afford to give discounts because we can't get the stock. I went through and showed him on Auto Trader and I said, look, the stock levels that are throughout the country, it's not just in the Midlands, it's not just this area, it's throughout the country. The stock has never been as low as it is right now. So we can't afford to give any discount. We've priced the van correctly. So he went away, literally within 2 hours. Somebody else that was due to come and have a look, I'd phoned them and says, yeah, it's not been sold, you can come and have a look. They put the deposit on. Next morning, chap rings back up again. Are you gonna take that £200 less? Said, no, it's sold, it's gone. And he thought I was joking. It's still like that, isn't it? This market is still going, things are still moving along, and it's actually the other way where we can't get the stock still.
Let me just show you something. I've been doing a graph. For the Motorhome monthlies, I do.
It's not about crypto.
No, it's not about crypto. I could talk all day about crypto, to be honest. Right, now, I'm just going to show you this graph before Shane gets back. Hang on, let me have a look. Share screen. I'm going to show you a graph now, and I've picked 6 of the main motorhome dealers that sell new stuff and also second-hand stuff. And this is their second-hand that they've got advertised at the moment. Let me just show you this. See it? So you've got 21 branches throughout. Can you see that?
I can see.
Marky's 13 branches. They've got 23 motorhomes for sale. This is used stock. So you've got there on the last one, 21 branches, and between them, they've got 111 motorhomes for sale.
Scary.
How are them 13 branches going to carry on, mate? He's back. Shane's back.
They're going to have to change the way that they do business, aren't they?
Yes.
And we're seeing that with Amazon, because again they're having to change the way that they're doing business and saying, right, we're not going to accept Visa anymore because of the high fees. And is it that we're going to have to look at things like that and sort of go, well, actually, 3% on £50,000, can't afford to take that loss on
no.
that.
Well, you look at what is it? American Express. It's 5%.
5%. Yeah.
1.5 for credit cards.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money when it's 10, 15, 30, 50,000 pounds.
Especially when you haven't got the stock to be able to sell in the first place to pay your bills.
Yeah. Yeah. I can understand why Amazon have done it. It's basically 2 fingers up at the like we're not paying this.
Yeah, and it was just after they've launched their own card, wasn't it? A month after they've launched their own card and said, oh, well, like you get special discounts and offers if you use our card now as well. So I think theirs is, it does 2 things, doesn't it? It reduces your cost. But I think the big dealers are going to have, and even us, we're going to have to look at ways to get our costs down. Because if we're not selling as much because it isn't out there, and that sort of then brings us back around to what we were saying about earlier about the NEC. Is the NEC going to happen? Because it's a cost. It's a cost that you're going to send your salespeople to. If you've got nothing to sell, why are you doing it? Can you afford, as a big dealer, if you haven't got the stock, can you afford that extra money to do that?
Shane, somebody wants to hear you speak. Rob,
it's a difficult one. People have got to change. Dealers have got to change their ways, but I don't really know how they can do it. You know, like we said in a previous discussion today, if the stock's been cut by 50%, and there's no 2020, 21, 22, and probably 23 motorhomes been built to anywhere near where they should do, I don't know where they can cut it. Arguably, do they cut you could probably say they even cut the sales staff to a certain extent and just have a couple of people taking orders.
Virtually. It all brings us back to the metaverse, doesn't it?
Let's take COVID then, Mark, Shane. Basically, we were selling the vans online, doing the videos and everything else, and then people were just coming, were paying the deposits through transfer, coming to pick them up, and then just driving them away again. No interaction whatsoever. I think we still need the interaction when you're looking at a motorhome because it's like a house.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you've got to trust who you're dealing with as well, haven't you? Especially when it goes more that way, you've got to have real trust in who you're dealing with, haven't you?
Let's just highlight Brian in Brisbane there. If you stop taking credit card, what happens to the current customer protection provisions?
Consumer Rights Act 2015.
Exactly. Yeah. Why should we pay the credit card fees for their protection? I think I send out a van properly and right and give a warranty and everything.
But not
so
everybody.
Their protection is me. Yeah, but I do.
Yeah,
so that's not an issue for me.
Yeah, I mean, not everybody will do, but at the same time, you've still got the law behind you.
Yeah, there's still the normal law without that visa protection.
Yeah,
So yeah,
you've
you've still got a leg to stand on, haven't you?
Yeah, you've still got Consumer Rights Act 2015, where up to a month, if you've got a problem with the van, then you can just reject it straight away. After, I think, between 1 and 6 months, they've got one chance at fixing that problem, and then you can reject it. And then 6 to 12 months, it's slightly harder to reject it, but it's still possible if there's obviously persistent faults there.
David Preston Wallet, I didn't pay my Caravan deposit with a credit card and won't see it. It will be March 2022. Worried now.
Worried for what reason?
Now, the other thing is, has he got a van still to use, or has he sold his van thinking, well, I'll sell my Caravan now for a good price or motorhome, sell it now, get a real good price, and then I'll be able to buy something cheaper or buy the new one, and then you end up getting hit with that it's not coming for.
Now there's a couple of questions just gone up about Aldis actually. Now I just want to put this on this little gem that I found just before the show started. The biggest dealer in the country, and I can guarantee they'll sell probably the most volume out of one branch.
But half of that, is that because they've just had the stock level cut by 50% of what was going to be produced?
Both, yeah, both what they've had that's been cut and what they've already sold. So that's Brownhill's saying.
That brings us on to the Motorhome and Caravan show in February, right? Are Brownhills going to go on the dealer Aldis stand? And pay to
I still think they will do. I think Aldis is still there. Well, Aldis is still going to go because they've already paid for it, from what I understand. So they're still going to be there. It's still a good way to future showcase your motorhomes. And if I was Aldis, I'd be turning around saying, well, if you want this stock next year, then you best get to the show.
What's the point of a dealer going when they've already sold out the stock?
They will have
Excuse me, Brownells. I really like this Aldis that you're showing here at the NEC. I'd like to buy it. Well, you can't.
Sorry.
Yeah, but I want to. Yeah, you can't.
I've got one. You can order a 2023 one now, sir, if you pay us £1,000 deposit, and we'll see you in about 4 years' time.
But it might not be like the one that saw you.
Well, that's the problem. How do you know what you're going to be buying? How do you know what the price is going to be then?
Well, to be fair, what a lot of the companies have done, particularly the summer of this year, going into next year, is they said, right, okay, we'll take £1,000 deposit. It is refundable if the price goes up beyond, but expect a, say, 10% increase. That's what a lot of the dealers did, not knowing what the prices were going to be for 2022. That's the only way you can really do it.
But if you start taking orders for 2023, you're going to happen. What's going to happen is something like what's happening with the gas and electricity companies getting bumped now, promising all that we'll fix the price for you.
Yeah,
and then the prices have gone up and they can't guarantee it.
You wouldn't guarantee a price.
Oh, hey, I want to buy this Aldis. Sorry, you can't buy it. But you can buy it for 2023. All right, we'll buy it then. Leave $1,000 deposit, but we don't know how much it's going to be when you decide to pick it up.
Correct. That's literally what dealers, manufacturers have been doing, or dealers have been doing. They've been taking deposits, saying, it's roughly going to be a 10% increase. Obviously, we can't tell you yet. If it goes up too much, and you don't want it, then you can have your 10% back. But if you keep your deposit back. But if you keep your deposit there, then you are first in line for next year.
How much has the Swift Escape gone up percentage-wise?
Say 50. Nearly. Say 8%, 9%, something like that.
So what can we expect on a 23 going up then? Because if 22s have gone up by that, it's got to be the same again, hasn't it? Surely. I
don't think it'll go up quite as much, because you'd expect it to get a little bit better next year. Sorry, in 2023. 2023.
How much is Swift gone up by this year?
Apart from the Contikis, which for some strange reason have gone down 10 grand, Escapes and stuff like that have gone up 9 grand ish.
Why have they
from
put them
something.
down?
I don't really know. Well, within reason. So they went up about, I think they went up in 2019. They went up about 10 grand, but they did put in stuff like underfloor heating and so on. And I think they might have taken bits like that out. But it's a bit like the Swift command panels. And I don't know if it was you that told me about this, Mark. The 2022 models have gone back to the old push button ones.
The high spec models, the high spec models still should have the screen in, but yeah, they've gone back 5 years on the panel.
Yeah, I think that's what they've done. I think they've just de-specced it a little bit because it's too much hassle to try and get the spec.
And I'm now paying £6 grand more for it.
Yeah,
doesn't make sense, does it?
I think, to be fair, I think the spec on the Escapes has gone up. I think the quality has gone up. It's just the Contigas that have come down, I think, in price and spec.
Well, that's a good point that you're saying there, Mark. They've taken the control panels off, but you're paying £6 grand more.
9.
Oh, sorry,
9
9.
grand more. See how long? I don't know. And then obviously this now is going to have a big effect on next year.
Just a quickie, Andrew Austin there. With prices rising, I think a lot of vehicles won't be sold as customers won't be able to afford them. They've already been sold, Shane, haven't they?
Yeah, they're you know, let's get this.
22 stock is pretty much sold out, isn't it?
Yeah, due to incredibly high demand, we have now sold out 22 models, Model E Aldis Evolution motorhomes. But that's pretty much across the board for anything. You know, whether you want a Heimer, you're looking at 18 months. Everything. There's just not the stock around, so the price doesn't really matter within reason.
So there's only one thing that's going to happen next year, isn't it? With prices used,
it's going to rise.
Yeah,
it's just going to rise again.
Yeah.
So has the bubble burst?
We're right down on stock. I honestly thought that we'd have a little bit of a gathering of stock over sort of this winter, and we'll be able to really stock up. And maybe February, March, we'll be fully packed up and ready to go. And all that has happened is we've just dwindled down on stock.
I don't know if you remember what you said to me probably 6 weeks ago, Mark, which was just after we started to notice 6 weeks, 8 weeks ago. You was quite happy with your stock levels, wasn't you?
Ecstatic. It was like brilliant. We've got good amount of stock. We're paying the right sort of money because prices had took a bit of a dip. We were paying a little bit less, so we could sell it out at a better price. So compared to some people out there, our prices looked fantastic. And I thought that was going to continue. I thought, right, Carl
Maeve's got an Aldis AutoQuest 155 for sale. Just give us the year and how much you're asking for it. If you can. Sorry, Mark.
So, yeah, I completely thought, right, we're going to see a bit of a sell-off over this winter. There's going to be more stock. We'll be able to stock back up. We'll be able to get everything at a bit better price. Come February, March, price is going to creep back up because of the issues with the new. But it's just all sort of come out over the winter now and sort of hit us that actually the new stuff that was going to be available isn't going to be available. That cutting manufacturing by another however many percent, 30% across the board. And there's going to be a lot less new out there than what we thought.
There we go. 2010, 30k for a 155, Shane.
What's the question?
The question is the 155 Aldis AutoQuest 2010 worth 30k?
Grand. With 35,000 miles.
There's a retail figure, yeah.
The retail?
Yeah, it's heading towards. That might just sit below. I haven't looked at one for probably a week or two, but yeah, it'll probably just, I reckon, if I was to guess, I'd probably say the dealers run between 30 and 32.
Right, yeah, we've got a deal here. The Motorhome showroom's got one on it for 31k.
Yeah, so 30. Yeah, so it's bang on then.
So he's basically bang on. Hang on, Camper UK got one on for 30k as well. So he's actually asking dealer money for it, which is no qualms in it, no qualms at all. But would he be able to? Would he be able to give a a warranty?
No, then that's the thing with selling privately. You know, we talk. People are worried about the credit cards and giving payments to dealers, but then they go and buy privately.
You've got no consumer law or anything. But then again, you've got to understand that if the dealers haven't got the stock and you can go and buy it privately, what other chance have you got? You've got no other way to do it, have you?
For me, that's not by no means any criticism at all. For me, there's got to be enough of a gap to take you away from a forecourt, you know, to warrant the risk effectively.
But over the last 18 months, that's not been the case, has it? Because the stock hasn't been there, and if you want it, you're going to have to pay for it, whether it's from private or from a dealer. And I don't think that's going to change, is it? Even into next year, it's still going. It's a seller's market.
The only thing I'm finding now, though, Mark, is we're now starting to get people are coming to buy the motorhomes now. We're starting to get a glut of camper vans coming in. Now, I don't mean camper vans such as like a Trigano or an Autosleeper. I'm on about the self-built camper vans because a lot of companies have been making them, the conversions. People have been going in them, finding the because that's the only thing they could have can buy for the money. Finding they're enjoying it. And then going, well, hang on, I don't want to saw back or I need a toilet. So we're seeing a lot of people coming in with Part X's for that.
It's a good entry into the market, though, isn't it, for people where they go?
Very good. That's what's happened, mate, through COVID. Yeah. That's exactly what's happened.
Yeah, I don't want a big, massive thing because I don't know whether I'm going to like it. I can't store it. I just want to dip my toe into the water. And that's the ideal thing. And again, come February, March, that is going to be the thing again that is going to be a real good seller, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean, we've never really dealt with camper vans before.
Yeah, what I'm also finding as well, we're buying camper vans in as well, because it's more of a summer market, the camper vans. There's the amount of quality, and there's going to be some videos to follow as well. The build quality is shocking.
Yeah, it's definitely getting the right one. I mean, the reason why, I mean, we only tend to go for the main manufacturer ones. For the main reason being is because you don't know who's put the gas and electric together.
Exactly. But I'm going to get a few videos out to show you some done by companies that are claiming to be professionals, and they ain't. I think probably someone's good at woodwork, but they actually don't know how to do the gas.
And that's one of the most important. Gas and electric is your two main important things, isn't it?
Yeah, I was. There's a couple of things. Go on, Jason.
People are going out there buying a camper van, which they think is what it is, and it's not. Because it's not been built properly.
There's a couple of examples I remember in particular. There's one which was
my mate's him, Bob.
Is my missus's Vic's cousin, and they live down in Cornwall, and they saw this camper van come up for, say, I don't know, 12-15 grand in Derby, and they said, can you go and have a look at it? And I started looking through the photos. I was like, well, this guy is saying he's professionally converted them off his drive, but for a start, I can see that the gas bottle's rattling around under the back seat. And what do you do with a gas bottle in a caravan or motorhome? How do you store it?
You tell us, Shane.
In a metal box.
With a strap.
Yeah, and I'm also seeing gas bottles with the rubber hose going straight to the appliances as well. Which, Mark?
Yeah, you can't have rubber. It's got to be. You've got to have your proper gas pipes in there, and that needs to literally be pretty much from the regulator. There should be straight from the regulator all the way back. It should be proper copper piping all the way back through. Then,
and that's some of them without regulators. So the moment you're switching the gas bottle, and you're getting that.
I'm glad people don't make flat pack caravans, because I can only imagine what they would end up looking like.
Yeah.
So it's not something that we sort of come across a lot, which is a good thing, really. And I suppose for you, it's an absolute nightmare then trying to figure out, okay, I'm looking at a VW. Is it a proper conversion? Isn't it a proper conversion? So if somebody was to look for one of those, what are the things that you look for? What are the first things that you would look for?
Where the gas is stored. basically. Is it in a metal box? Has it got a drop vent? Checking he's going to a regulator, and then piping work. That's the first.
And that's going to
Next
give you
one,
the first big hint of, has this been done properly?
how
or,
good's this been done? Yeah. And then obviously where the battery's housed. But gas is gas. It's dangerous.
Yeah.
And the second one is your crash-tested beds. If it's not, why are you advertising it as a 4-berth with belted seats?
Yeah, because a lot of those rock and roll beds have got the seat belts on, haven't they?
Yeah.
Whether it's just an off-the-shelf or whether it's a proper conversion. And for me, looking at one, I don't deal with them and I don't get involved with them. But for me, looking at them, if I was just going to buy one, I'd think, oh, yeah, it's got the seat belts in. It must be right.
Yeah. And that's the problem, isn't it? Because a lot of people put the trust in somebody who's selling it as well.
And that, again, then I think comes back to the whole thing of with like the credit cards, and if we do end up going more into an online thing again, you need to trust who you're buying from, don't you? You need to have that trust. And then will we find that big dealers, because they can't get the stock, are they going to end up selling stuff that they shouldn't really be selling just to make numbers up?
Yeah, selling the bits that I've got issues, damp, mainly.
K-Buy, as a woman, I would be more for the layout of the van. Gentlemen do not buy motorhomes. Women buy the motorhomes.
And again, that's the number one thing, isn't it? You want the layout to be right, and you probably then don't really. You're more looking at that side of it rather than thinking, "Oh, has that been done right? Has that been done right?"
But I think the camper van conversion market's absolutely saturated now with a lot of bad vans out there.
Yeah, the other thing that I spoke to Jason about this the other day, how many sole camper van only dealers are, like you've got caravan dealers, you've got motorhome dealers, how many sole camper van dealers are there out there?
Yeah, unless I think they're a converter and they're making their own, there's not that many, are there? It seems to be more where they're doing their own conversion, and then that's what they tend to sell rather than we're just buying all these in, and that's all that we do.
Yeah. I can only think of two, and even they are biased towards a certain brand.
Yeah.
Full stop. Which is amazing, really. How there's only probably two. Let's say I'm missing a couple as well. Camper van dealers in the UK.
In the comment, one main reason why people change wrong layout, and it's always down to the layout. They've got this idea, and then once you start going motorhoming, things change. That's why you should never spend a hell of a lot of money on your first van, because it's never going to be the right one.
And that then again brings us back all round again. This next 12 months where people are going, oh, it's going to go quieter, it's all going to drop off the cliff. If you look at all the things that are happening, we've had so many first timers that have probably bought the wrong layout, now have gone, oh, actually we like it, but we don't like what we've bought, so we're going to look at swapping for layout. Yep. We've got then the issue with all the new, so you can't get the new, so you then obviously have got to look at something used. So no way, no shape or form have we sort of hit the peak of where the market's going to be or go, have we yet?
No. I mean, you two boys know. Are you still selling at a very decent level right now for November?
For November, yeah.
I think what everybody else is sitting there, though, Shane, is saying, right, it's all going to go soon as you can start going on holiday now, and the planes are letting you go. It'll all go. The camper vans will drop. There'll be loads on the market. What's your thoughts?
I try not to get wound up about it, especially on Facebook and places like that when people are saying it. They've been saying it because they've been saying it for the last year, but they're not accounting for the fact that they've already sold out for 2022. So how can the used stock, and the prices have gone up, so how can the used stock go down in price if, one, you haven't built enough for 3 years, and two, if the prices have gone up? How can they go down in price when there isn't enough on the market in the first place? Plus, you probably, let's say, I don't know, what do we reckon? What would we put a percentage on that the market has risen by in terms of customers?
Oh,
New people
God.
buying vans, 70% easily. Can't be
Okay,
empty market.
so
No more.
Probably is
okay,
all.
so let
All
Because
your sales.
what we haven't had this year is we haven't had the glut of Part X's. That hasn't happened because people
You
have
look
got
at
hold of the vans.
all your sales. It's all majority, probably 90% has been first time buyers, hasn't it?
yeah. Right, so let's say it's gone up by 70%, and let's say over the 3-year period, 2020, 21, 22, new motorhomes has gone down by say 50%.
Fine.
How are you ever going to meet in the middle and for them to go down? Let's say if you lost 50% of those new customers, you
I'm
never,
just going to jump off, and I'm just going to buy a van. I'll tell you which van we brought. I'm just going to buy this van, and I'll be back to you in a sec. Because don't forget, folks, we are live, but we're still all working at the same time. I'm just going to buy this van. Hang on.
He's just showing up now, isn't he? Look at me buying a van.
Is that the first one he's bought this year?
Probably, yeah. I wish I could buy some caravans at the minute. Again, I seriously thought, come the winter, it would all change and we'd be able to buy some. And it just hasn't. And it's just all the reasons that we're saying there now. We had a lot of people sort of August, September, where it just dipped off. And I think we had so many people saying, right, well, I'm going to sell now because there's going to be a massive glut of vans come to the market next year. And we'll sell for a really high price now, get the best price that we possibly can. And then come next year, we're going to be able to get exactly what we want and we're going to get it a lot cheaper. And I feel sorry for people that have ended up then doing that, sat there now with nothing, because it's going to be a real difficult way to get back into the market where potentially you've just sold what you had, maybe at an actual lower price than what things are going to be next year. Because just that supply and demand thing will drive the prices up anyway. But if the new have gone up by sort of 6-8 grand on the motorhome side, then what's going to happen to those 2021, 2020 models? That they're going up in price, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, let's just go slightly diverse into a different avenue. Towing laws. I'll give you a good example, and we'll get onto the reason why. We had somebody sell their motorhome 2 months ago because he was going to buy a new tag axle as soon as he sold his motorhome.
Is
What's
this
happened to
a
that
tag
now?
axle motorhome or caravan?
No, tag axle caravan.
Yeah, we call them twin axles on our side of the
side of the country, the Midlands. Yeah, so he sold his motorhome thinking, right, I'll go out and buy a brand new twin axle caravan.
Yeah,
because they announced that he could now do it, or he could do it in the near future because of his license. Now, how's that looking for him right now?
Not good at all. Because you can't go and take your test. Even if he says, "Oh well, I've not got my B+C, so I'll just go and do my test so I can tow something bigger." Can't do that anymore. I now can't tow anything over what I could tow before, so I'm still restricted, combined to the 3.5. I think it will change at some point, but when? And now, how do you buy a caravan on the basis that at some point you might be able to tow it?
Yeah. And
then again, if they're changing that law, why on earth haven't they changed it for the motorhomes and said, actually, let's just do it to 7.5 ton for your vehicle as well? That would have been a lot more sensible way to change that law. And because all that they've done it is for the delivery drivers to not have to take extra or give them time to be able to go and do the tests, etc. And it's just not worked, has it? And that would have opened the market up for the motorhome.
But like like you were just saying then, is if you wanted to get more delivery drivers on the road instantly.
Can I just cut in, lads?
No.
Just 2 seconds.
Here's an insight to what we have to deal with each week. Shane will know more about it. Chasson Welkin 757. It's a 2018 van. It took Steve 3 hours to get there. We've offered good money because it's good stock. Would you agree?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How was the garage, the back end?
Damp.
Hey?
Damp.
Oh, there's
Damp in the back end of the garage. Stone chips all across the bonnet. Stone chips all across the bonnet. Damp in the back garage. 2 years habitation. Didn't bother carrying on doing his habitation. Basically. Electric wind out awning. That's bowed.
So, I mean, just to go back, I mean,
£50,000 retail van. £52,000.
Yeah.
Retail van.
And as soon as you said Chasson, what did I say?
Well, you go to the garage, don't you?
Yeah. So that's, unfortunately, the customer's been, well, if he hasn't had it serviced, you can't keep the warranty up. It's as simple as that. If you've got something new, some of these manufacturers have got 10-year warranties on them now. If you don't service them...
The comment was, why are you taking so long? I've got meetings to go to.
Hey?
Didn't buy it then.
The chap actually said, why are you taking so long? Because I've got meetings to go to. We spend 40, 50, 60,000 pounds on vans, right, which we buy there and then. People buying houses at 60, 70, 80,000 pounds. It takes a month.
Yeah. So this is just a quick insight to where the market is, and Jason's absolutely spot on with the valuation for retail on that, by the way. Which was, you said it was around 52,000, did you?
52,000 pound van, isn't it? 3-year-old.
Right, okay.
Well, we're going to have to class it as a 4-year-old van now, 2018.
So this is where it's also difficult from the dealer's point of view, as well as the private customers, because these vans will probably be retailing at something like 65,000 now, something like that. If you was to buy a brand new one, the equivalent model, this is what that van would have cost new 3 years ago, and this is how much the prices have gone up.
Yeah.
That number on the right hand side.
53,440.
Brand new.
Yep, that was the price from.
New? Yeah.
In 2018, obviously.
Frightening, isn't it?
And like I said, what price you said, 50-52, that is exactly where it should be. That's where it sits in the market right now. But because the new ones have gone up to 65-ish, it means the used ones.
Here's your problem now. Somebody else is going to buy that van.
Yeah, because they're just not, they need the stock and they're not that bothered. It's just literally a case of
van get back out on the market with damp in the back.
Yeah.
There are some places that will buy it just to repair it, aren't there?
You've got to buy it cheap enough to repair it.
Yeah. You've got to take that into consideration.
Now, when you've got somebody there who's seen them for £52,000, and you come along and say what you've said, they're going, oh no, he's just trying to rip me off.
But they're not taking into account that damp might be £2-3 grand to repair.
You don't know until you get an attic, do you? As you're well aware, Mark.
Yeah, until you actually start stripping things out. You can think it's come from one area, start stripping it out, and you've just opened up a whole can of worms because it's from something completely different.
And do you really want to start doing the work on a £50,000 van?
No.
That hasn't had its full habitation checks and kept in with warranty.
Because then it's your responsibility when you sell that on. It's now no longer manufacturer's warranty. Yeah. You're the one that's done the repair work. You're the one that's got to warranty it.
And that just anybody can point me out wrong as well is with Chasson, even if you have it habitation checked by AWS, they still don't recognise it. You have to use it as Chasson approved dealer. I think Mark might be able to help me there.
No, I've not got the
document. Not sure. I've got you what?
Let me just have a look at the matrix.
And just to go back a step as well, we're talking about service and everything like that. The problem with a dealer is if you buy something that's say a 2020, it's got its habitation services and everything like that. Dealer goes out to buy it and it's got damp. What's the waiting time to get it into a chassis main agent to get that repair done?
We had a floor issue with a burst,
Burster.
and it was getting
Yeah.
on for 9 months to have it repaired.
Yeah, so that's that is also the problem that some dealers are taking on, is if they're buying something a year old that has been serviced, so they've done all the right thing. The dealers can't necessarily do anything with it because there's a 9-month wait, and who's going to want to put, say, £50,000 into something that they can't sell for 9 months?
But you say, well, yeah, I suppose from the dealer's point of view. But then again, if at the moment you're sort of thinking, well, I know that the market's going to be good in 9 months' time. Is it another stock to fill at that point? But then do you want to? I don't know. It's difficult, isn't it? It's difficult how to look at it, because you can also look at it and say, well, we've not got the stock, so we're better off having something that in the future we can sell. Because I'm fairly confident that the market isn't going to come crashing down in the next 12 months.
This is when I think you're probably the same as me, Shane. When we go out picking vans up, if people are honest with the descriptions, whatever we've offered, we don't quibble with anybody.
No, I mean, for us, February is a great month for us, where I think we paid what we planned to pay on the way out, something like just under 90% of the motorhomes we bought. We just had a really good run where everybody was just dead straightforward and honest with what was wrong with it. And the 10% that weren't right, it was just because there was something quite significantly wrong with it, quite expensively wrong with it.
Yeah.
It's just about being honest. Yeah.
Just going back onto your chassis, no, AWS can't service them. It's not covered under the.
So the guys had a couple of AWSs, and it's not even recognised, so they wouldn't touch it anyway under warranty.
No.
Which I think shocking that is on chassis.
Yeah.
So that shows how bad that is. It just goes back to what I said about a dealer. If you're buying one that has had its service, it's 2019. It's had both. It's had both of its yearly services, so it's under warranty. But you've got a problem. But if you want to book it into a chassis dealer, you've got to take it back to probably the original one that sold it, by the way, because some of the main agents are getting really bloody fussy, and then it might be 9 months until you get a return on your money.
There's a good point from David. Traps really can't cancel or lost deposits back to back of the queue, or get an overpriced second-hand caravan. Some are more expensive than the new ones.
See, the problem. I agree with most of that. The only thing I don't, they're not overpriced.
No, they're not.
That's the only point I'd pick out of that they can't be overpriced if they're all that price, and if they're not going to necessarily go down from that price. Yeah,
which in the next 12 months, prices aren't coming lower than what they are at the moment, are they?
No.
It's going to be 23, 24 until new build levels are starting to get back to normal.
Yeah.
And like I said, and then you've still got 21, 22, 23, where you're never going to replace own vans.
A few people in the comments that have not even had the 2021 vans delivered yet. Like they're now producing 22 vans, or supposedly.
It's David's come back again. He says if a second-hand caravan is more expensive than a new one, it's overpriced. Well, have you not got a couple of classic cars that cost more than what they were?
Yeah, but that's not equivalent, is it, to what he's saying?
No, I agree.
We have had it. We did have it last year where we bought a couple of brand spanking new Aldises, and we actually sold them because you couldn't get one. We sold them about £500 more than what they would have been. But it's the case of, well, if you can't get one and that's what you want, then we ended up paying more than what a dealer would have cost.
Yeah.
Bought it for brand new.
It's all that supply and demand again. Just going on a smaller scale, for example, you want to go and see the European Cup final and all the tickets are sold out, and
You're
they
going to
were
go on to
£100,
it. Yeah.
and then you're paying £500.
Yeah.
And look at the websites that do that and make all the money from doing that. And it is then the same thing. And again, you are going to find that if you can get something fairly new, it's number one, it's going to be more than what it was brand new, because all the 2022 prices have gone up. So it's difficult to sit there and go, well, it was only 25 grand when it was brand new 6 months ago, and you're asking 28 grand now. But the equivalent new is 30 grand. So, and you can't get one.
Here's a good question from Mark.
Great one, man. Should I wait till the NEC Caravan show to look at a new car, or should I go to the dealers in January, as there may be none left?
There isn't any left already, so go now.
Yeah, go get it online today.
And you might get one for summer 2023.
We've just recorded a video talking about the NEC show. Mark, you don't think there'll be an NEC show in February?
I don't think it's going to happen.
They've just cancelled the Manchester one.
Yeah, and I think the NEC, within the next couple of weeks, you're going to see the NEC show get cancelled as well. I really think that it's going to get cancelled.
Shane, you disagree? Why?
I think the manufacturers and the show organisers too much money into it already.
I think that they're better going, let's just take the bit of a loss that we've had now.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to say. I don't think they've got much more they can put into it anyway.
You reckon they've probably already 100% paid up? And
yeah, I think they're about there.
If that is the case, then yeah, fair. They've not got anything to lose, have they? Unless all the dealers turn around and say, well, no, we're not going to send the salespeople, and we're not going to pay the money that we were going to pay to be on the stand because we've got nothing to sell.
But even then, surely it's a good showcase. You know, we're talking going back to layouts earlier on. Surely a show like that is the best way to get people looking at different vans at different layouts and planning what they're going to get in a couple of years' time when they've had a life with this one.
Yeah, but if you're a new dealer, Mark, selling new caravans, right? Would you go to the show?
If I'd got 200 vans to sell, yes. If I've got 20 vans left to sell, no.
So if you were selling Aldis motorhomes, just like Brownhills, and sold out, would you pay your money and go to the show?
No chance. If I'd already paid money and it was already spent out, then yeah, fair enough, and I'd committed. If it was a case where I was coming up and I was going, right, I've now got to pay, I've got to make the decision. If I pay the money to send all the salespeople or I don't, I'd be saying no chance.
And what I said on the previous video is I'd have a little banner next to me that I can cross off. I'd have every motorhome that I've got left on for the rest of the year. And when it's just say, look, this is what I got. Come to me. If you want one, can't do any refunds, discounts, because there isn't any discount to be done. So I haven't got. You can see we've only got 10 left. And just do it that way. I'd literally do that. And I'd also.
What Brownhill should have done was not sell all the Aldises, gone to the show and put the prices up.
There was, I mean, this is going back 30, 40 years, but there was a dealership that started up near me. And the reason he started up was because he went to, I think it was Swift or someone like that. And he said, right, okay, I'll buy the whole lot that you have got. Everything that you've got, I will buy the lot. And then they ended up going to him for their stock in a similar demand, 30, 40 years ago.
What about the show insurance if they cancelled?
Yeah, we said about this earlier, didn't we? I don't think the insurance is going to cover them, is it? If it were to be cancelled. And we're not saying that it has been cancelled for the NEC. The Manchester one has been cancelled, but the NEC at the moment is still saying that it's going ahead. But I think that it's going to get cancelled because... and then I don't think the insurance is going to cover them.
No, that's because they would have. Why would the insurance cover? There's no reason for the insurance to cover it. I mean,
I don't think they could have took the clause and said, if we've got nothing to sell, we want insurance against that. So
yeah, there was a rumor going around. Like, I'll just take it as very loose figures, but there was a rumor going around that if the organisers were to have cancelled the show that cost them £1 million.
The thing is, though, they're committed, though, aren't they? Because they don't just ring
That's
up
what I mean.
in January and say, "Can I book you for February?" Well, no, Rod Stewart's playing. They've obviously committed for 3-5 years, aren't they?
But then, how long would the Manchester show have been booked in advance?
But we're talking different scales.
The thing is, if they have some type of show, Mark, right, they're still going to get a revenue from the ticket sales. And at the end of the day, I like Shane. Me and Shane would like to go there just to have a look at the different models.
Yeah. In the comments, let us know if the NEC goes ahead, but there's nothing to actually buy caravan-wise, but you can still see some. Will you go? Will you pay the money and go?
Well, here's another one. If there's only is there all these accessories available or tents available either?
I don't think the stock's there on anything, is it?
So you could be going to a show where you don't buy anything. It's just a show.
And then what are they showing at the show that hasn't got anything to show?
Well, they would be showing something. You just can't buy anything at the show.
Well,
I'm just going to take it back. I'm just going to go back to that Manchester show that we're talking about. I'm just having a quick look at who were originally exhibiting in it, and it was mainly dealers, not manufacturers. So as a dealer, there isn't any reason to want to go.
Does that not say to you then, for all the dealers are just going to turn around and go, well, what's the point in us going to the NEC?
I'm not disagreeing with that, but it's the manufacturers that are paid for the stands already.
Yeah, but the dealers have got to pay to go.
They've got to pay.
I know they have. Yeah, they have got to, yes. But regardless, Aldis, for example, have already paid their money to be at the show. Whether the dealers go makes no difference to their money. They've still got to go. They've already paid.
Realistically, it's no point in any salespeople going anyway because they've got nothing to sell. So just come and just have tour guides.
That's an interesting comment there that Bob's just put up. I've never gone to a show to buy anything, just interested in what's available. See, I would have always said historically before this that the show is exactly the place you want to go to buy, because you will never get so many different dealers in one location that are doing stupid discounts to get your business. That's obviously pre-COVID, but previously, dealers will do discounts that you sit there. The other dealers think, how the hell have they done that? We haven't even got that profit in that.
That's a very good point, because it's a tough gig for the dealers, isn't it? The shows.
Yeah, it's cutthroat.
They're all fighting one another. Yeah, good word, mate. Cutthroat.
We always used to say the ones that go, I've sold however many today. Well, no, actually, all that you've done is just bought a load of expensive used stock. That's all that they've done. They've not made any profit out of what they've actually sold. All that they've done is just give silly money for the part exchanges. So you've just bought a load of really expensive stock, and that's 99% of how the dealers work at the NEC. Is just trying to get the used caravans in by selling the new, and that again is why
the NEC show will be advertised as an exhibition only. It's just basically what we're on about, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm just going to post a couple of photos up. I don't know how well this is going to work. You know, you're talking about your chassis you just went to see. I don't know if you can really see this one that we've just gone out to.
Are you on the same one? Are you having trouble buying a van today?
Yeah, this is an Auto Trail. Now,
the blue marking around the skylight and the crack in the ceiling board.
Yeah.
That the strips in that roof don't look original. That looks like it's already been boarded at some point.
Windscreen.
Ooh.
This is.
How did the chap describe the van? Excellent.
That's not good. There's another photo on there, but I can't show it because of the reg.
This is why we always say to customers, come and have a look at the caravan yourself, because our description, what we think is awful or what we think is great can be completely different to how you look at it and what you think. And what some people will look at that and go, "What year is it?"
This was described as very nice. The roof light has been repaired.
And what year is
Let's
it,
have a look
Shane?
at the roof light again.
Hold on a minute. I just need to find the original notes on it.
Looked like an 05 or something like that from that bumper.
I go
Yeah,
with
06, yeah. 06, so Aldis Trail.
So again, with the age, you've got to expect some, probably not a big like leak in the roof, but
Yeah, I've shaved for the age. You've got to take that into account.
yeah, it's not 2018, is it?
You can have it if you wanted, Jason. I'm sure that'll go straight on your forecourt.
I'm going to take it to the show.
That's a good idea, actually.
South Thursday, wouldn't it?
Yeah. You pay for drivers to take everything to the show. I know that's old, but when it's described as very good, apart from a small leak that's been repaired.
So I think
That's exactly what you said, Shane. It's just a day out.
Yeah.
a lot of people are just, it is just to have a look and because you're not going to be buying anything, are you? And I don't know whether there's going to be much in the way of accessories at the NEC either. I know that a lot of the awnings and stuff like that are sold out. Again, prices are, and it's everything, isn't it? Price. You look at everything. You look at inflation at 4-odd%. That everything is just going up. Absolutely, everything is going up. So it's just the world that we're in at the moment, and it's just how it is. So don't expect caravans or motorhomes to be coming down anytime soon. Next year, prices are going up, new and used, and you're going to be in the same situation as what we've been in for the last 2 years, aren't you? Where the stock isn't there, new and used. You're just not going to be able to get the stock, and unfortunately, that is just going to have one effect on the price, and that is up.
Yeah,
they're definitely going up again next year. Like I said, what was a £48,000 Swift Escape this year just gone? When they've gone up £9,000, the dealers aren't going to be far off buying them for that sort of price.
Yeah, like I said, last year we were paying for brand new Aldis, a couple of Aldises. We paid more than what the dealers would have bought them direct from Aldis for. But it was a case of, well, if we haven't got it, we can't sell it, and we're pretty sure that we can actually charge a bit of a premium on what it was brand new because you can't get one. And people, it's just that case of, if you can't get it, and you can then find one a little bit more expensive. If you want it, you're going to have to pay the money, or you don't argue and don't moan about it because you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
Are you actually making money in these times?
I think the best way to sum that up is a dealer I spoke to the other day who was genuinely very, very concerned about the coming year. Because of the lack of new stock that he's got coming through, and bearing in mind he's never had to go out and buy used stock, so he doesn't really know how to do it. And he said, it's a good job I've just had a relatively decent 18 months. Otherwise, I don't think I'll be able to get through the next 18 months. It depends how much these dealers step up in the next 18 months and actually be proactive, not just sit there and wait for customers to come to them.
It's going to be a very, very telling time, isn't it?
Yeah,
It is.
And then as a customer, you've got to be a little bit worried if you're placing your deposit with somebody for 12, 18, 2 months, 2 years down the line. Is that dealer still going to be there? And that, I think, is where you want to be paying your deposit, buy a card, so you've got some protection. A Visa.
What about the downturn in diesel and petrol engines and upturn in electrics? Will it turn the market downwards?
No, you can't even buy a car with a decent range at the moment. So I think it's that far away. It's irrelevant.
The infrastructure isn't there either, is it?
No.
No, you go through some of the terrace streets in London, work out how to charge a car on them.
Yeah. Or you drive on a Tesco supermarket with 300 car parks spaces, and there's 2 charging points.
Yeah, I mean, it's just not for me. It's that far away. You know, you're not going to be able to plug 20 cars into a lamppost. The power was not there in the ground to be able to source these cars.
It's going to
these cars.
It's going to be like the towing law. They're going to say, right, this is when we're changing the law, and we're going to
Tell
change
us all about this towing law.
It was a political thing. I think the electric car statement, wasn't it?
Exactly the same with the towing law, where they've said, right, this is what we want to do by this date, and then as it gets closer, they're going to go, actually, we can't do that, so we're now going to have to change the goalposts, and I think things will progress with hydrogen. They're looking at different ways to do the diesel engines, aren't they now? And I think we'll probably see more of the. I know that we went to Land Rover. We was having our car serviced, and he says we're actually putting more. Or Land Rover is putting more development now into the hybrid. So you've got the petrol and a bit of electric, more than just all electric, because the infrastructure, firstly, just isn't there for all electric, and secondly, we're still so far away from actually getting to that point that it's not really worth us spending all the time and effort and money looking at. Yes, we need to look at it, but if everything gets changed and the goalposts all of a sudden change, and we spent all this money developing electric cars, that will then turn around and say, oh well, actually, it's not really feasible, and we can now do this.
Well, look what's just happened with the rail. How they've stopped. They're not going to do it through the north.
Yeah, the HS2.
That's it.
Yeah.
I kept thinking H2O.
H2O.
It's hydrogen power.
Here's a good question. Is the supply of new motorhomes a supply problem or a demand issue? Simon Barrett.
Supply issue.
Yeah. Because if the motorhomes or the caravans are there, there's never a problem, is it?
No.
Yeah. What did you say the answer was?
Supply issue.
Supply.
Well, it's both.
Well, it's chicken and egg, isn't it?
It's both. Yeah. And there's a supply issue. There's a supply issue and a demand issue. Because obviously it's both, yeah.
Yeah.
People want what there's not enough of. Yeah.
So the question is, has the bubble burst?
Yeah, it's burst. It's all gone tits up now.
Yeah, it's definitely burst. If you can give me a call on and sell me your motorhome, that'll be lovely.
If you're out there with a caravan,
yeah, so the best time now is to be selling your motorhome. If you can get in touch with us for selling your motorhome, best time to sell it now, especially with winter coming up. They're giving out a really bad winter.
As well.
It's a new bigger bubble.
If it disappear, I'm not being rude. My battery's just about to die, not long off. So,
well, we'll
thank God for that.
In a nutshell, as a bubble burst, no, it's not. Do we think the show's going to be next year? Me and Shane think it's going to be on. Mark says it's not going to be on. So we'll see what happens, eh?
Yep.
All right. Toodaloo, everybody.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.
I've been